As a person with a very deep voice, I'm hired all the time for advertising campaigns. But a deep voice doesn't sell B2B, and advertising on the wrong platform doesn't sell B2B either. That's why if you're a B2B marketer, you should use LinkedIn ads. LinkedIn has the targeting capabilities to help you reach the world's largest professional audience. That's right, over 70 million decision makers all in one place. All the big wigs, then medium wigs, also small wigs who are on the path to becoming big wigs. Okay, that's enough about wigs. LinkedIn ads allows you to focus on getting your B2B message to the right people. So, does that mean you should use ads on LinkedIn instead of hiring me, the man with the deepest voice in the world? Yes, it does. Get started today and see why LinkedIn is the place to be to be. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Go to linkedin.com/MPN to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/MPN. Terms and conditions apply.
Entrepreneurs Enigma is a podcast for the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. So the wins and the fails that we all face being entrepreneurs, how we learn from adversity. Every week I talk to a different entrepreneur with a story to tell. I'm Seth Goldstein. Come with me on the journey. This is Entrepreneurs Enigma. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneurs Enigma podcast. I am, as always, Seth. I think you know that by now. I am here with a friend of mine, Derek Agnew. He is an Emmy Award-winning multidisciplinary creative director, art director, motion designer, and he has more than 15 years experience as a video producer, director, copywriter, and editor. Oh, I got it all in. But he is now on his own doing the entrepreneurial journey, and I wanted to bring him on because we have people that have been an entrepreneur for years. We have ones that are like side hustling it, and we have ones that are just starting out. And Derek's just starting out. I'm going to do this. Let's rock and roll. He got his site up. He got his reels up there and all that. So you have to check it out, derekagnew.com, which will be in the show notes. Don't worry about that. So anyhow, hey, Derek, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, Seth? Nice to be here.
Yeah, and we're actually on the same time zone. We're actually I'm about an hour north of you. You're in Philly. You're Manayunk, right?
Yes, Philadelphia. It's a lovely city.
It's lovely, depending on the day.
Well, I mean, it's summer. It's
summer.
It's real
Every
hot.
city smells and it's disgusting in the summer. But but you're in the Manayunk area, right? Because you're more in the. If people don't know the geography of Philadelphia, it's a city of neighborhoods. And there's Center City, which is like the big city area, and then there's a Manayunk, which is like an old manufacturing town. It's a cute little row houses and stuff. And then there's like Northern Liberties, which is all hip and gentrified. Manayunk's a lot more working class. But it's a really cute city. It's a fun city to kind of be creative in. I feel like it kind of gets the creative juices going.
Yeah,
so Derek, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. I'm enjoying
like 91 today.
Yes, it is.
Oh, I don't like the heat that much. It's a little hot, and we don't get
I mean, I'm trying to figure out whether I like the heat more than I like winter. You don't get too much winter here, which is as far as I'm concerned.
We used to. But where are you from originally?
Well, I'm originally from Michigan.
So you get winters. Oh, so you know winters.
And then I spent 12 years in Toronto, Canada, which they
really know winters.
Yes. And I admit I reached a point where I was just tired of winter. I kind of would
out. Has bad winters. Philadelphia, we have bad summers and bad winters. We have good in between seasons. Spring and fall are perfect. But last year we didn't get any winter, which is weird.
I was fine with that.
Maybe you brought that with you. Maybe is that possibly what it is? Who knows, right? Yeah, who knows? So Derek, you're an Emmy Award-winning motion designer and director and all that stuff. So tell us a little story about that. How did you get your Emmy?
Well, at the time I was working for WTOL 11 in Toledo, Ohio.
Oh.
And I was the senior promotions producer out there, and I made a lovely campaign. I think it was promoting their morning news. It was a very competitive market.
Yeah,
and made a great morning news campaign, and I won a regional Emmy for it.
That's wild. So you get the statue that you can beat intruders up with It's a very heavy
Well,
sketch from right here.
unfortunately, it's in my storage at the moment.
Oh, why? That's something
I
you carry
don't
with
know.
you.
Having to make the big move from Toronto all the way down here during the middle of a pandemic, and
Oh, really?
but
Oh, so you
I
could go get it. I can give you 5 minutes. Go get it. No, I'm joking.
oh well, it's always just a matter of figuring out where everything is.
Yeah, what box, right?
Yes.
Exactly. So you
I should have kept that separate. Kept some things separate and I brought it with me, but no, that one I guess.
you gotta go
Uh,
get that sucker, buddy, and put it right in your mantle or something. That's
it-
big. That's an accomplishment.
yeah.
Did
No,
you do it, hold it up and thank people, thank the Academy or whatever the heck it is?
I believe I was. Yeah, I believe there was a ceremony, and I had a chance to do that, and no, it was great.
Water out like a penguin in your tuxedo and all that stuff.
I don't think I was wearing a tuxedo, but
No.
I probably wore a suit at the time.
So there you go. That's very cool. So you've done the news business and the
Yes.
motion capture stuff. And you've also done the agency work too, right?
Well, yes, there was. I worked for Bell Media in Toronto, Canada, for a number of years. They had
They
a
still have Bell up there. Wow. Or is that different? Is that not Ma Bell? That's not Ma
No,
Bell.
well, that's sort of a funny. That's even a funny story because
Oh,
obviously the Bell down here was broken up. And
yeah. Is it the same company?
well, I think and I'm going off of memory here.
No, no,
I
no, hold
want
on.
to say that probably over a century ago, Bell System here and Bell in Canada were truly the same company.
Oh,
But
wow. So
a
it's not
lot
a
of
guy named Bell. It's a company. It's a big company.
but regulatory issues and whatnot. I think probably it's probably been 100 years that they were probably required to separate. Don't quote me on the
I
timeline,
will
but it
not
had
quote
been
you
a
on the
long time.
timeline. It's
But
only me and you right now, right?
but as time went on and they broke up the Bell system down here,
Mhm.
it's obviously the very competitive system that we sort of take for granted. That's kind of not how Canada operates. They
No,
sort
there's
of
Rogers and Bell, and that's about it.
yeah,
And
Rogers and Bell and Telus, and I find that
Telus.
there tends to be a lot of close coordination between their 2, 3 companies and the government, and they
It's kind of
and
the way it is around down here. Let's be honest. It's kind of the same way with Comcast and Verizon. Oh, they're evil. No, they're not. They're all
I
in
think
cahoots.
the media concentration's happening. I think it's been going on for a long time up there, but
Yeah,
it's
it
definitely
is.
coming here too.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah,
So
we broke up our Bell system, and they never did.
they never did exactly. So now you've ventured out on your own into the wilds of
Yes.
entrepreneurship. You can go to derekagnew.com and see his awesome reels. I mean, what's it called? Sizzler? Your sizzle. Not Sizzler. Sizzler's
Sizzle
a really
reel, yeah,
bad.
I'd
Yeah,
say so.
Sizzler is a really bad restaurant from the 90s. But the sizzle reel is really cool. It's very like glitchy and not bad glitchy, but like technical
Well,
term.
thank
I
you.
really like it.
I'm not sure I got your opinion on it before now, so
I like
I'm
I
very
really like
happy
it.
you like it.
It's very Mr. Robot-y a little bit, and like hackery and fun and shows all your stuff. I really like it. It's clever and it shows that Hack had the motion graphics. I'm looking at that and I'm like, I have no idea how this guy did this. So that's a
Well,
good thing. We're going to take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and get right back to the show.
As a person with a very deep voice, I'm hired all the time for advertising campaigns. But a deep voice doesn't sell B2B, and advertising on the wrong platform doesn't sell B2B either. That's why if you're a B2B marketer, you should use LinkedIn ads. LinkedIn has the targeting capabilities to help you reach the world's largest professional audience. That's right, over 70 million decision makers all in one place. All the big wigs, then medium wigs, also small wigs who are on the path to becoming big wigs. Okay, that's enough about wigs. LinkedIn ads allows you to focus on getting your B2B message to the right people. So, does that mean you should use ads on LinkedIn instead of hiring me, the man with the deepest voice in the world? Yes. Yes, it does. Get started today and see why LinkedIn is the place to be to be. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Go to linkedin.com/MPN to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/MPN. Terms and conditions apply.
yeah, I think a little bit of mystery is good sometimes.
It is. It is. So now that you're on your own, you've worked for corporate conglomerates of all sizes, all types, and stuff like that. What's the best thing about being your own man? Your own being not being beholden to the higher ups. kind of thing.
There's something to be said for the fact that you can set your own schedule more or less, and you can set your own location too.
More or less.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's definitely more freedom in that regard. I would
Yeah.
say that is, I think that's probably probably what draws most people into working for themselves is the freedom.
Yeah, absolutely. And what keeps you up at night? I mean, being a fresh entrepreneur, fresh meat in the entrepreneur space.
Being able to find the right clients, being able to keep the client flow going, especially early on, you probably get a touch of imposter syndrome as well.
Yeah. Even with an
So,
Emmy, even with it, let's highlight that. Even with an Emmy, you can still get imposter syndrome.
yeah, I'd say so.
It happens to everyone. It happens to the best, and I still suffer. I'm 15 years into the business, and I'm still like, who am I? I was at a networking event last night, and the guy's like, I know you from LinkedIn. And I'm like, what? Whoa, that's the first time I've ever heard that before. I mean, I have a lot of followers on there, but no one's ever said that they know me from there. It's just like that he follows me on LinkedIn. I'm like, that's cool. That's pretty wild, And so, being that this is not your Emmy because you don't carry with you all the time because it's in the storage unit, but
I know.
being that you moved
Bad
around,
me,
I'm
bad
never gonna
me.
let you live that down, buddy. You can't show it. But being that you've hopped around the globe, or at least the Western Hemisphere here, and around North America, what is the most important thing to carry with you all the time?
So I have to go for something that's somewhat obvious. The laptop.
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't
obviously.
I didn't have one for many years, but I got one. Oh God, how many years has it been now? I'd say 6 now. And
You were all desktop. Wow. I guess
yeah, the laptop brings in quite a bit of flexibility. And when you travel somewhere, go away, it's nice. It's nice just having it.
you bring your office with you, unfortunately, sometimes too.
Yeah, I try not to do that, but
You like
sometimes
kind
it's
of you
unavoidable.
segregate the stuff over, like, don't look at that folder right now, that kind of thing. How's that work for you when you take your business when you take your laptop, your work with you? Do you try not to bring the work with you when you travel and
um,
you're on personal time, or do you check in every once in a while? Is it hard sometimes?
I got a phone too, obviously. You
Yeah,
can't help but
you're
look
always
at
tethered, you can't
the
escape.
can't help but look at the emails and whatnot. And
Yeah.
if it's something that I can check out and research and
Yeah.
do in a few minutes, I might as well get it off my itinerary.
Yeah, that's the problem with being an entrepreneur, you're always on. Even when you're not supposed to be on, it's like, "Oh, I got the document signed that I wanted signed," or XYZ, and you're like, "Alright," and then you're down a rabbit hole for a day.
Mhm.
Personal experience. So people can find you over at Derek Agnew, agnew.com. Derek
That's
with
correct.
and Derek actually Derek spelled multiple different ways too. So it's Derek Agnew. Because I've seen Derek spelled all weird ways. So
Yeah, no, it's true.
it's
Who knows
true.
where all these come from?
Exactly. And then where's your watering hole online? Where do you like to hang out the most online?
LinkedIn's great.
Yeah, it's good for
That's a bit of a cliche, I suppose.
everyone says,
Um,
actually, you'd be surprised. Some people have said Instagram, and I'd be like, "This is," I'm shocked. I'm like, "Oh my god, not LinkedIn right now. We're on LinkedIn, but it's a requisite." And then other people are
um,
like, "But they love Instagram for X, Y, Z." And I'm like, "Okay,
yeah, I got Instagram. I got a business Instagram account that I
yeah,
started up recently. I mean, these are all linked on my webpage.
yes, go check it
Um,
out." You're on Vimeo, which kind of makes logical
yes,
sense. Keep your stuff off of
yeah.
YouTube because then it'll get stolen.
At least with my portfolio, I got a lot of it like self-hosted because I feel like there's a benefit to ownership. Even if
There
you've got it
is.
on Vimeo, there's still that chance that I
It
don't know for some reason they
disappears.
pull the plug or something.
Exactly. You get self-hosted as well. So, Derek, this has been so much fun. I'm glad I got you on. I'm glad I got the perspective of someone who's just starting out in their entrepreneurial journey, who's been around the block quite a few times. Heck, he has an Emmy for in storage. Keep it in mind. But he does have an Emmy. So it's not like this is your first rodeo, but it's your first rodeo as an entrepreneur, and that's fun. And you're
Yeah,
enjoying it.
absolutely. So far, so good. Yeah.
Awesome, buddy. And guess what? We'll see everyone next week. That was a great show. If you're enjoying Entrepreneurs Enigma, please review us in the podcast directory of your choice. Every review helps other podcast listeners find our show. If you're looking for other podcasts in the marketing space, look no further than the Marketing Podcast Network at marketingpodcasts.net. Theme Media hopes you have enjoyed this episode. This podcast is one of the many great shows on the MPN Marketing Podcast Network.
You may know you're listening to this show along the Marketing Podcast Network, but did you know there are other great shows on MPN to help your business? Steve Turney hosts a great podcast geared toward mental health marketers called The Boost. Steve, tell listeners what you cover on the show.
The Boost is our podcast, and the tagline is conversations with people promoting mental health. And that's what it is. So it's marketers, company executives, therapists, and mental health advocates talking about what they're doing to move this industry and this important thing called mental health forward.
Amazing. And where can people subscribe?
I'm big on LinkedIn, so you can find us there, just /Steve Turney, or you can find the show at marketingpodcasts.net, or search for The Boost wherever you get your podcasts.
You heard him. Go subscribe. This podcast is heard along the Marketing Podcast Network. For more great marketing podcasts, visit marketingpodcasts.net.